This is Sunny, our Carl Sunglow jungle boa imperator. He's got a big head, or rather he's got big cheeks. It's one of his many endearing physical characteristics, and it gives him what I believe is technically known as a chuchi face. Our Hog Island boa, Lulu, does not have big cheeks, and because she's a girl and Sunny's a boy, I wondered if perhaps male boas develop big cheeks as they mature, like tomcats do. So I went on to ChatGPT and I asked the following question. Do male boas have bigger heads than females? And ChatGPT said, well, no. Female boas tend to be bigger than male boas. So in proportion with their somewhat larger bodies, their heads tend to be larger too. So I mentioned my tomcat theory and ChatGPT said, right, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, that's not about being a boy. That's about being particularly good at eating. Boas who are especially fond of food can develop hypertrophied pterygoid and masseter muscles. I'll repeat that just in case you're not familiar with the phrase. That's hypertrophied pterygoid and masseter muscles. Hypertrophied means enlarged, and pterygoid and masseter muscles are the ones that we use for chewing and snakes use for swallowing, apparently. This makes perfect sense when it comes to Sunny. It's funny with pet snakes how their relationship with food becomes an important part of their personal profile. Sunny has many positive attributes, the most important of which is that he's incredibly sweet and gentle. But he does love his food. If we're feeding one of the others, he's out of his hide ready to grab the rat that he can smell and that he hopes is for him, or else he's pressed up against the glass of his vivarium trying to find a way out so that he can go and help himself. Khany's our Dumeril's boa, and he likes food too. In fact, he's pretty scary on feeding day. He doesn't patiently stalk and then strike like the other two. He surges forward and lunges, throwing his whole weight into it. And on one occasion, I've had to catch him in mid-air as he's come flying out of the open door of the vivarium. But eating's not his whole thing. Some days he's an explorer, crawling around his vivarium, and then when we open the glass doors, he'll come out and crawl around the flat. And he's also an enthusiastic sleeper and, I like to think, contemplator. He'll put in several days at a stretch of sleeping and possibly contemplating. In line with the theory that snakes who are particularly obsessed with food develop hypertrophied pterygoid and masseter muscles, Khany has a normal-sized head. Lulu, our Hog Island boa, is not a particularly good eater. In fact, last year she went for several months without a meal, causing us all kinds of anxiety. She's eating regularly again now, but only mice. She won't eat rats. Needless to say, she hasn't developed hypertrophied pterygoid and masseter muscles. In fact, she has a very slender and feminine face. As a friend of ours observed, if she were a cartoon, she'd have eyelashes. To sum up, Khany and Lulu, not very good to average feeding response, no pumped up facial muscles, regular sized heads. Sunny, off the charts feeding response, really pumped up facial muscles, pretty big head. So if your boa has big cheeks, it's not a gender thing. It's because he's Gorge Clooney, he's Food Manchu, he's Starsky and Lunch, she's Charlie XC Extra Fries, she's the newest member of K-pop Demon Grunters. It's a good thing. A healthy appetite's what you want. You just have to be careful not to indulge that appetite too much, otherwise your snake might become obese one Kenobi.